Okay, game 2 then on Lost and Found. Let's see. So game 1, there was almost a storm drop. Would have loved to have seen a storm drop. An awful lot of fun. And there was Invisible Man. Classic. Which ended the game. And yeah, Invisible Men are a thing. They are a thing, and if you're playing against Protoss, really, you need to think about the possibility of Invisible Men and make sure that you're safe against it. Make sure that at the very least you have got the ability to make detection so that if Invisible Men show up, you can do that. And ideally have some inkling as to whether or not Invisible Men are likely, through scouting. There was scouting, but there was not seeing. You know what I mean? It's one thing to send a worker into your opponent's base and have a look around. It is another thing to actually behold what the worker sees. So yeah, in the last game, BeanKing, I don't think ever expanded. So glad to see this earlier Nexus this time, and it's a pretty standard opener. We've got the gateway, we've got the side core, we've got the gas, we've got the Nexus, a second gas coming down. No sort of military units in production just yet. On the other side of the map, single Zealot is going to come out, and yeah, that's all right. We've got the Twilight finishing up pretty early, and it's going to be Invisible Men again. So if you're BeanKing, having lost the first game to Invisible Men, surely this time you're going to make sure you don't lose a second game the same way. So the forge is finished, so he can definitely build a couple of cannons or whatever. Has there been any scouting aside from that worker that went in? None whatsoever from NightCrawler. So he literally has no idea what his opponent is doing. BeanKing, on the other hand, did send the worker in pretty early, but it got killed, so hasn't really got a clue what tech there is. Seeing a side core doesn't tell you anything at all, because Protoss is always going to build a side core. If you see an early Twilight, that tells you that something is up, because in general, the Twilight, an early Twilight, it's either going to be Blink or it's going to be Invisible Men. In this occasion, it is Invisible Men. So there are actually no cannons here. Instead, BeanKing is getting an upgrade. He's getting an upgrade for the 3 stalkers that he's got. I mean, you guys and these upgrades. So no cannons in sight. So he's going to die again to Invisible Men because he can't see them. I don't think you're going to get an opportunity to get a cannon done. They're going to come in, take out the pylon, which is irritating. You don't need a forge to be powered in order to build cannons. You can still build cannons just by virtue of having a forge. So there's one cannon going down here, but I'd love to see a couple more, because it is quite a number of Invisible Men, and I'd like to see the workers run. Again, it's a bit like against the Oracle. They've got to run, otherwise they die. DTs, again, they can't shoot while they move, if you like. So you've got to run them away. This just isn't enough. One cannon isn't going to do it. There's too many DTs here. And actually they're going to focus on the pylon. I'm not sure about that. I think I'd have just killed the cannons. Bear in mind, in scenarios like this, when you're faced with a cannon, cannons have less health than pylons. So in general, it is quicker to kill the cannon than it is to kill the pylon. On the flip side of that, if that pylon is powering several cannons or a cannon and a shield battery, it is better to kill the pylon. Anyway, a fairly, what's the word, ignominious, is that a word? Ignominious? I feel like it is, and I feel like it's maybe appropriate to that game. GG.